Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Forum coming to you guys today with another video. Been a few days. Um, let's talk about what the hell is wrong with this Detroit Lions fan base. Okay? This fan base cannot accept any type of success. They can't. They're always talking about the past, the history. I understand it. They don't want to see a good team. Like, this is not everybody, okay? This is not everybody. This is just based on what I've been hearing lately, and I'll explain that in a minute. But a lot of these guys just don't want to see a good team here. The SOLF is alive and well in this city, in Detroit, with Detroit sports. And it needs to cease and desist. It needs to stop. If you don't know what SOLF is, same old Lions fans. And there's a ton of them out there. They just don't want to see the success of this team. Now, I kind of got this idea from, obviously, social media, like I get a ton of my ideas from social media, radio, same thing. This was based off a radio, okay? A radio conversational sports talk radio. I was driving to the gym yesterday during the day, looking forward to a fantastic workout, all fired up. Put on the afternoon show. There's the morning, there's the mid. It's the mid show. Carson Anderson, Doug Carson, Scott Anderson, Scott the Gator Anderson, whatever he goes by. Two good radio hosts for the Detroit Lions. You call them what you will, but they're good. They're good radio guys for the city. Good Detroit guys for that city. So I'm driving to the gym, and my gym's it's not far. It's about 10 minutes away, maybe 15, whatever, you know what I mean? It's not that far, so it's right by my work, actually. So, anyways, I'm listening to Put on Ice, I Want a Ticket. Let's hear some positive news, man. It's just positive news. Lions are 4-1, by the way, okay? Lions are 4-1. So it's not Scott, it's not Carson Anderson. It's the callers. So like I said, I'm 10, 15 minutes away. I don't get a lot of time listening to the guys on the way back here and there. But I got about 3 callers in. 3 in a row, by the way. First guy starts talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how they're going to ruin our chances for playoffs by the time we come around to Dallas, which is week 17, by the way, at Dallas, December 30th. Now, if you want to talk about playoff implications, maybe that we will be playing Dallas, and it will be one of those games where we need to get into the playoffs. I don't think it's going to come down to that. And I haven't said this in a long time. But I did say at the beginning of the year that I thought this team was going to win the division, Detroit. I really did. And I think we're going to win it well before week 17. Well before. And guy calls in and is saying that Dallas is going to ruin our chances. That's it. We don't have a prayer. Because Dallas is some type of juggernaut now. Where they're really kind of not. They're kind of up and down, great defense. The next week they have a really bad defense, then a great one, then a bad one, and offense is kind of all over the place. Dallas isn't very inconsistent. They are a good football team, though. And we'll talk about some teams that I think are better and worse than us down this video. So that's one guy, so I'm like, all right, it's not that bad, whatever, man. He thinks we're going to not make the playoffs, Dallas is going to knock us out, whatever. Then the next guy calls. And adamant, just this older man. He's saying, this offense is going to get figured out. And I'm thinking to myself, figured out? They haven't figured out Ben Johnson in 2 years. Or year and a half. Well, yeah, pretty much 2 years. Because when Ben Johnson pretty much took over in 2021, him and Dan Campbell, everybody can tell you that Dan Campbell was the offensive coordinator at the end of 2021. They're blowing smoke up your you-know-what. Because let me tell you something. Ben Johnson was the OC. Dan Campbell, all the respect in the world for Dan Campbell, but he's not an OC. He's not a play caller. He's not an X's and O's guy, but he's a guy that I would love to play for, and it's a guy that a lot of people, fans, players, whoever, would love to play for Dan Campbell. But he is even self-admitting that he's not even an X's and O's type coach. He's not. So when Dan Campbell took over the OC, that was his boy Ben Johnson calling those plays in his ear. And if you don't believe it, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay? Because 2021, at the end of the year, the last 7 games of the year, Goff was playing outstanding. The offense was clicking. Amon-Ra St. Brown became a superstar overnight. It was just a really good offense with scrubs, by the way, with scrubs. Okay? And then 2022, look what happened. Goff had a great year again. The offense ran well under Goff. Great running attack. Even better passing attack. Goff made the Pro Bowl. Like, you know, it was just a great, great look. Ben Johnson was highly touted as a head coach coming off 2022. I think he might have interviewed with Houston. I don't remember. He might have interviewed with Houston. He interviewed with Carolina for sure, though. He had a couple of interviews, and then he said, "Hey, man, I owe it to the Danimal that I'm going to stick around for try to get this man a Super Bowl." Hopefully, he sticks around more, but that's a whole other video. I don't think he's going to, but that's a whole other video. So no one's figured out the Detroit Lions offense. Nobody has. They just haven't. You know, we've had some lulls, some glitches, whatever you want to say, during games. We even got shut out by the Patriots last year. Injuries, not an excuse, but it is a thing. And we've had injuries this year, and I was scared to death about losing guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, who else? If you lose a Josh Reynolds, which he was completely absent from the Atlanta game. He was activated, but he didn't even get a target because he had that groin injury. And Goff has played exceptionally well, playing a lot better than he has last year. Goff is actually having a better year this year. He really is. And he's playing better on the road, and they're playing still great football at home. And the offense hasn't been figured out. So this guy's saying that teams are going to stack the box, and they're going to go, stack the damn box, man. Please stack the box against David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Craig Reynolds. Stack it. And then guys like Laporta, Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, when he gets going, are going to melt you. They're going to take your dreams away and stuff it right down your throat. Do it. Stack the box. I don't understand why this fan base doesn't understand this. You can't stack the box against Detroit. You will get owned. Jared Goff is having a great year. Jared Goff is throwing dimes. I'm on board. I don't understand why this fan base can't be on board with it. They just don't want to see success here. They're so used to losing. They're so used to losing. It's incredible. So stack the box, play the run, play the pass, do what you want as a defense. We're going to succeed as an offense. No one's been able to stop us. Like I said, you get a couple laws in the offense, it happens. It's going to happen every now and then. Belichick for some reason has some type of voodoo curse on Jared Goff. Okay, but I'm not worried about the damn Patriots right now. Patriots aren't even going to make the playoffs. They might win 3-4 games. Who knows what's going on over there? But that doesn't matter. I'm not worried about Belichick at the moment. He's the only one who kind of has his number. Nobody else does. Nobody. So that's another one. And then you get the guys, the next caller, complaining about who we drafted. And I understand it because there's some friends of mine that are YouTubers that put stuff out too. I'm not saying names, but you know who they are, and they're great YouTubers. They're my boys. But why are we complaining about who and who we don't draft? It all comes out. It all starts coming out, especially when you see guys succeed. Like Jalen Carter is balling in Philadelphia. Get it. We get it. I understand it. Jahmyr Gibbs hasn't been the guy that has been advertised so far. Even though he's producing when he plays, he is producing. He's just not producing at a level that we want to see. Has a really nice yards per carry. Pretty sure I had to look that up. Even the last game against the Packers, he had like a 4.75 yards per carry average. Now, what it is on a season, I think it's above 3.5. It's got to be. I got to look that up. But he's producing. And he's a guy out there that you have to keep an eye on. Even when they did the jet sweep with Khalif Raymond against the Packers, I think it was against the Packers. Forget who it was. Everybody went to Gibbs' side. And Khalif had a 40-yard run because nobody was afraid of Khalif Raymond. They all were all we're eyeballing guys like Gibbs. And then you're going to say, well, Mark, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Who gives a damn if it doesn't show up on the stat sheet? He's out there and he's a problem, and he's making people realize that he is in the backfield. He's wherever the hell he's lined up. He's going to be a guy that you need to keep an eye on. And the guys like Jack Campbell getting dragged because he doesn't start over guys like Derek Barnes or Alex Anzalone. Alex Anzalone and Derek Barnes are playing good football. Are they great linebackers? Absolutely not. But Jack Campbell is producing. He's out there and he's producing, and he's a guy that's made a couple splash plays. He's made a couple really nice plays on the run. He made a really beautiful play against Kansas City when he knocked the ball down. He has gotten beat 100%. He's got a sack on the year. He's creating some pressure. He's doing some things. And this is a good problem to have, that you have good depth. And it's not even depth at this point. Barnes is just playing well. And I told everybody that Derek Barnes was going to be a guy to look out for in like year 3. I told people that. I go, this guy's going to be a developing player because the way he was handled at Purdue. The way he was handled as a Boilermaker, he was a defensive end, moved into a linebacker, got kind of back and forth, never really developed one position. So he was going to be a guy that had to develop at the NFL level. And I said, look out for this guy year 3. And I said it 3 years ago. Look out for it. He's going to be a guy that's going to be probably better in year 3. It could be a possible starter. If you can look that up, go ahead and look it up in the archives. I always said he was going to be a decent player. Not a superstar, no star in the making. Not like a Hutchinson. I didn't say anything like that. Hutchinson is a superstar, by the way. It is an absolute superstar, but that's another video. So then I was going to do this video yesterday. I was more heated up yesterday. Not as heated today, but then my boy, Jeremy Ballreich, and I hope I'm saying that name right, brother, got a podcast, Motor City Kneecap Biters. Go check him out on Facebook. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's putting out content every day on podcasts. He does live streams. He doesn't do videos, though, I don't think. He doesn't do videos, but he's very knowledgeable and he knows his shit. Motor City Kneecap Biters, go check him out on Facebook. Go check him out on YouTube. Go subscribe to Jeremy Ballreich. Look him up. But he came out with a thing today saying this very same thing. And that's what kind of got the juices flowing again. I'm like, okay, I got to do this damn video. Because he was talking about players we didn't draft or did draft, culture fit. We get it, though. There's guys that are more talented. Carter is showing out right now. So it's easy to point fingers, right? It's easy to be like, oh, look what he's doing. Jalen Carter was passed over 8 times for a reason. He really was. His ability to play football were never in question. It was his attitude. Everything else above that. And hey, he's on a great football team with great teammates on one of the most dominant defensive lines in the NFL, and he's succeeding. He's playing well. He's playing Defensive Rookie of the Year football as we speak. He is. He's got the lock on it right now going into week 6. Will it happen? Who knows? There's a lot of football left, but he is the guy. He's talking about being 4-1. Jeremy is talking about how our 30th ranked defense last year is now number 3. He did say it was number 1, but it is number 3, which is fine. We were number 1 last week going into that game against the Carolina Panthers. Now we're number 3. Now I'll take number 3 any day of the week. We were dog shit last year going into week 6. 32nd pass defense, Jeremy says, from last year to 17th. That's called progression. That's progression. What are we doing here, Lions fans? What are we doing here? Brian Branch playing well. Campbell doing his thing. Not starting, but making a little bit of noise. Hutchinson balling. Deep Anzalone, Barnes, secondary Cam Sutton. You can bash on Brad Holmes all you want, Lions fans, He brought some dudes in. Okay, man, we missed on Emmanuel Mosley. Unfortunate, another ACL tear, whatever it is that he had. This is on the different knee now. But don't forget about guys like Brian Branch. Don't forget about guys like Brian Branch. Don't forget about guys like Cam Sutton, who we brought in from the Steelers. Don't forget about Jerry Jacobs. Playing good football the last 2 weeks. He struggled mightily the last 2 or 3. I mean, the first 2 or 3. Now he's playing really good football. 3 picks in 2 games. That's Brad Holmes, man. That's Brad Holmes. Aleem McNeil. They drafted Aleem McNeil. I'm not comparing him to Jalen Carter, but he's doing what Jalen Carter is pretty much doing. He doesn't have the sack total. I think Aleem's got 2 sacks. Carter might have 3.5, 4.5. He's up there. He's up there with 3.5 or 4.5. And he's pressuring the quarterback like crazy. But Aleem is playing great football. And that's having faith in your players. Aleem McNeil's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not a first-round pick. He's not a top 10 pick. But he's playing above his draft grade. Or above his draft position grade, whatever, how you want to word it. He is. Right now, he's playing phenomenal football. Yeah, 2 games in a row with sacks, pressuring. Last week, he strip tackled Miles Sanders. He's out there making plays, bro. He's out there making plays. And then, we're 16th in points against in this defense. And a lot of that is credit to guys like Aaron Glenn. But Brad Holmes is stirring the pot here. So enjoy the ride. This team is, in my opinion, I put him in between, and this is all the NFL, between 5 and 6. When's the last time you heard me say something like that? I try to be the most, what's the word? Pessimist? I try to be pessimistic, I guess. I'm a little bit standoffish. I don't want to buy in totally a lot because I've been hurt so many times, man. It's like a girlfriend. This team is like a girlfriend, man. Your ex-girlfriend that just breaks your heart and steps on it every day. You know what I mean? It's exactly like that. But this year feels different. And then you'll have the guy that calls in too. The same guy that will call in. One of these guys talked about, we're playing too good of football right now. We're 4-1. It's all going to crumble. As far as I know, that the Dan Campbell teams have started off slow and ended hot. So why can't we start hot, end hot? Why does it always have to be the reverse? Why does it always have to be we're playing too good football? If we were 1-4, you'd be complaining and it'd be justified. But what's wrong with starting out hot? This is what you want to do. You want to start out hot. You want to get a grasp of that division right away. There's just this fan base baffles me at times. It's a love-hate thing for me. You can't say anything negative about them. You can't say anything positive about them. When the negative is negative, you still can't talk about them. Like when I talked about the 2021 team at the beginning of the year, and I talked about Jared Goff on how I hated the draft, on how I hated that trade and all this stuff. I got attacked relentlessly. I got attacked like I was attacking someone's dad or someone's grandmother. That's how serious it was. And I was justified in myself. I thought I was justified in making those comments because we were a train wreck at the beginning of 2021. And then it got better. Then 2022 got even better. I was still a little hesitant going into 2022, which is no big deal. I'm not a homer. I am the complete opposite of a homer. But this year I'm guzzling. I'm guzzling the Kool-Aid. I'm guzzling. We're playing great football. And then you have the same guys telling us, who have you played? Well, we beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I don't give a damn if Chris Jones or Travis Kelce wasn't there. I don't really care. Going into Arrowhead alone is hard enough. Then you played a game in Seattle against Seattle at home. You probably should have won. You let too many points on the board. And I think that's when the switch went off. Then you dragged Atlanta, even though we only scored 20 points. We beat up on Atlanta. We beat up on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, by the way. And then we mollywopped the Carolina Panthers. That's what good teams do. They put their foot on inferior teams' throats and push down as hard as they can. And that's what we've done. And this fan base still doesn't understand it. There's going to be more losses coming. If you don't already know that, then I don't know what to tell you. But there's going to be more losses coming. I expect this little road trip that we're going on with Tampa, then Baltimore, I believe it is. I expect to go 1-1. I really do. I want to see how they play against Tampa. My preview will be coming out later. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Don't really know. But it's going to be coming out. And just enjoy the ride. I just don't know why we just can't enjoy the ride. There's so many. It's such a losing mentality here. And I'm a really big guy on feels and like karma. I'm a guy that, negative energy, positive energy. I think it's a real thing. I really do think it's a real thing. I'm no hippie or anything like that. I don't got crystals where I just rub them. I put them on my chest, put them all over my body. I'm not that far gone. And that's fine if you want to be like that. But I do believe in negative and positive energy. And this fan base brings way too much negativity. When it's unnecessary. If it was necessary, bring it. Bring the negativity. You have every right to. But when things are going well, ride the wave. Like even these Packer fans, man, arguing with Packer fans. Enjoy the ride because it's going to come crashing down. And I love seeing these Packer fans melt down because they know that this team is different. This is not your dad's Lions. This is not your grandfather's Lions. This is a different squad. I am not calling a Super Bowl. I'm not calling an NFC championship or anything like that or an NFC game. But we will be hosting a playoff game this year. I just feel it. I have felt it for a long time. We have won 12 out of 15 games. 12. This goes back to last year, obviously. Ride the wave, guys. Ride the wave, man. This is a good wave to be on, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any type of crash coming up soon. There really isn't. You get a loss in there somewhere, okay. The next 2 games, you can live with that. Don't want to get swept on the road with the next 2 games. Don't want to do that because then that could build some bad momentum in a negative type of way. But ride this wave, man. Come on, Lions fans. Get up. Get with your team. I don't want to hear none of this bullshit about, oh man, 4-1's too hot, man. We got to slow down. We're not going to be like this. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. That's week 17, man. Don't worry about who we drafted. Guys that we did draft are all producing. We need guys to come back like Gibbs and Branch, obviously, but they're doing the damn thing. Some positivity around here, guys. Positivity. Thanks a lot for the video. It went on probably longer than I should have. But I really appreciate you guys coming in and listening to me rant and rave about our beloved Lions that we all need to back up. Let's go. So thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Thanks, guys. Come on. One pride. Go Lions. Woo! Kaboom! Let's go, baby.